Hello, everyone, and welcome to the May episode of the SWW show. It is the ninth episode.
I was going to say it's the 3rd day of May, but okay, so you're going then. Never mind. I was about to correct you.
Yeah, it's the ninth episode. And yeah, as Mike's saying, we're recording this on the 3rd. A couple days later than we actually wanted to, but
I'm
Mike
sorry.
was sick. I don't blame you. I mean,
Trust me. It was literally I got home and I went, good night, everybody.
but yeah, this show, we're gonna do a little live production meeting here. This show is gonna release in 2 sections. One will be the full episode, and one will be just the first part. Because the first part will be talking about stuff that's happening in the news, stuff we've seen, stuff we've played, and then the second half will be our Endgame talk.
So what you're saying is people aren't going crazy when they see basically the same episode twice on their feeds.
Correct.
Here's the production meeting side of this. I think we should release the same episode twice, but on that half that's not spoiling Endgame, we should just have it like as this be opening half the episode again, just to really screw with people.
But yeah, so to kick off the news, probably the funniest story in the news right now is Borderlands 3.
Oh, fucking...
There's actually 2 stories. I only wrote down one, but I was reminded of the second
For
one.
the record, it looks good. I'm gonna start with whatever we're about to say is the game looks good, and you know I'm gonna play it. Continue with what you're about to say.
Here's the thing: the Borderlands style is hard to mess up.
The Borderlands style, and also I think it's a formula as much. It's formula that either you like it or you don't. I think it's very much a set in stone formula in that regard.
Well, would you rather talk about a voice actor or shady business practices?
Let's go with shady business practices because you know there's a lot of that going on around.
Oh, I didn't even include the Mortal Kombat stuff.
We're gonna talk about that considering it's somewhat personal for me.
Yeah. So, according to Randy Pitchford, I have to preface that statement with that because, according to him, Borderlands 3 does not have microtransactions.
But it does have small purchases that are not part of the gameplay.
It has, yes, small purchases that you can make that are non-gameplay related. In other words, they're not microtransactions.
But they're macro transactions?
They are... I saw so many different names for it. They are tiny purchases. Yeah.
So, I'm gonna...
Obviously, Mike, you're going to play Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
You know my stance. If I play it...
Oh, because I make you play it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say the thing, and this is gonna be the somewhat defending, and I think the statement as a whole is idiotic. I'm gonna defend when he went into the first half of the tweet storm before the second half got crazy, of him explaining what he was trying to say, and I think it was a bad communication stance. He was going through the idea that it wasn't microtransactions in the sense of, because it was the non-gameplay things. And to be fair, the correct way to have sold the microtransactions instead of saying that would have been, it's microtransactions akin to the skins from Borderlands 2, except you don't have to grind for them, is how he should have sold that stuff. Instead, he went on a giant rant saying how they're not microtransactions and the media's out to get him, which is a bad stance to take.
Here's my belief, okay, about Borderlands 3. 2K should just find somebody to be the public face of Gearbox right now.
So here's the issue, and I think where I don't know if I'm against that. It's the logistics side of, be honest here, the issue for Gearbox is everyone else who could have been a public face that people knew are no longer there. It could have been a Mikey Newman.
Right.
It could have been some of these other people that you knew and they were related to even to two other games. They're all gone.
Right. But they could have just put anybody, right, to be the spokesperson.
Like the creative director they've thrown out a few times now actually seems decent.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead, you have Randy Pitchford, who...
Is a very divisive figure, we'll call him. I think is a fair term. He
Yes,
reminds me
but
of like
he's...
a Peter Molyneux in the sense of like he
Yeah.
has like a hype behind him or an understand behind him, but he says very divisive things.
He has a hype, but he kind of shoots himself in the foot sometimes with stuff he says.
Right, like this was a perfect example of you could have found a way to spin this to not be horrible, but somehow you made it worse.
Yeah, he should definitely... If they don't do... if they didn't have a creative director take over, they should definitely write out what Randy needs to say. Because I guarantee you, he's just getting up there and winging it.
I think he needs a
And
John
that's the
Kelly,
problem.
like with his Twitter feed.
Dude, they need something, because yeah, he's a Molyneux where he will overhype.
But he's also a Molyneux in the sense of he could have an amazing moment or an amazing game, but he's a Molyneux in the sense of it's the problem with the creative genius. He once in a while will have the moment of genius, and then there'll be other times he'll be like, shut up.
Also, I think a part of what's going on is he's feeling the pressure.
Because this game is probably make or break for Gearbox as a whole. I bet you it'll probably in the end be fine, but I bet you in the moment.
I can almost guarantee 2K's looking at this and going, okay,
This better work.
if it doesn't live up to Borderlands 2, it's seen as a failure. Because as a studio, you always want a sequel to be more popular.
Mm-hmm. Especially because Borderlands 2 was such a success.
Right. And Gearbox has produced absolute dog shit since,
They've only
and had some legal battles.
They've only produced one game since, right?
No, there were two.
Is it Alien? I thought Aliens was pre-Borderlands 2. Was it after?
When did Borderlands 2 come out?
2012. You could be right. I thought it was.
It may have been the same year.
Aliens Colonial Marines 2013.
Or was it
It was 3 months
2013?
later.
Yeah.
Which is funny to go such a 180.
Yeah. So there's definitely pressure on him to drive the company in a certain direction and deliver on a certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which could be very interesting, considering the second story out of them is Claptrap has a different voice actor.
Which is sad.
Because apparently they didn't want to pay the guy that originally did the voice. Which, from everything that I've heard, he essentially did it for free.
Yeah.
He was working at Gearbox at the time, and he decided to voice Claptrap for fun.
Which, to be fair, my understanding is most people at Gearbox voice something for fun. So I don't think he was exclusive.
Right.
I think he just became a bigger deal.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying, is it became a big deal. He left Gearbox between Borderlands 2 and now, which is 7 years. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they have a huge fat check from Epic, they're like, no, we don't want to pay what you're asking for you to voice Claptrap.
Which is, especially because, let's be honest here, he's probably, what is he really asking? Probably, like, relatively, he's probably not getting asked to pay something stupid.
Right, it's not like he's
not asking for Troy Baker money here, I probably bet.
right. He's not Troy Baker. Or he's not Sam Jackson in which GTA was it? San Andreas or was it 4?
San Andreas.
Yeah, so it's not a big name Hollywood actor coming into your game.
He's probably like, feed me, give me $100 and I'll do the goddamn voice for a
Right.
day.
So there's just it's such a shit show, right? Like,
Which is,
obviously video game studios are a shit show in general.
mm-hmm.
Which we'll talk about with the Mortal Kombat story, and honestly, it seems to be more of a shit show than current TV and movie. Obviously, TV and movie studios used to be a complete shit show in the 70s and 80s, but now that everybody's union and they work on 4 different things at a time, and productions last 2 years, right? So they're always doing something different. There's less commotion usually that you hear of from those. Sans like a Jared Leto delivering pig's head to everyone. But yeah, it's just dude, video game studios.
What do you want?
Unions need to exist in creative fields for the only reason that people can't be expected to work 90-hour weeks.
So I'm gonna make this stance. It's gonna be the funny from the sense of I don't know in game unions in the sense of like what you picture as like a union in the same way as can work in the sense of unionizing like tech is stupid hard for a lot of reasons, obviously. And I still think so. To me, there's an argument to be made for the unionization of the sense of it's the Jason Schreier argument of not unionization in the sense of like we need a SAG-AFTRA. It's unionization in the sense of like here at this shop we guarantee you the minimum worker pay is $45K. Like that type of. I'm much more opening to the discussion. I think I get more annoyed when the union talks start from an extreme and no one's willing to budge and like actually have a discussion in the matter. So
well, and here's the thing, right? Like they don't need SAG-AFTRA.
Right.
I mean, some of the writers might like if they're
if they're like
professional writers,
I think it's different than
you're
like
part
a
of
programmer's
SAG-AFTRA.
argument.
Yeah. Or you're part of the Writers Guild. But like, I don't know if you know how it works on TV and movie sets, but there's like 18 different unions represented.
It's per
because
thing.
There's a union for sound. There's a union for lights. There's a union for the grips. There's a union for the actors. There's a union for, well, some directors are and some aren't, but, everybody working on a set is union, more or less. So if they looked at it that way of like, okay, we're going to have an artists union. We're going to have a programmers union. Like that position where there's multiple unions, I think you could get to work because there's the model.
I think we need to look at it what we define as what a union does in that equation. And my perfect example is, and someone gave this analogy, and I feel like you've heard it before too, is the thing that makes film, the one thing which we're going to say blindly makes film easier than making games is you know what a camera looks like, you know what a camera does. In games, we reinvent the camera every single time. And that's a lot of the games issue become is we don't know from the beginning how long this thing will take. That's why games budgets just don't really form for the longest time. Because in a film, I could go, this is a $100 million film because I know this takes $20K, I know this takes $10 million, I know this, and this. I don't know that in games in the same way in the beginning.
Well, but, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but think about Avatar, right? Mm-hmm. They were going into that, and they literally reinvented the camera.
That one, and that's an example of they did reinvent the camera, and that's also a good example of James Cameron. James Cameron was like, I'm spending more money than I'm supposed to, and the studio accepts it because it's James Cameron, not just because it was anyone.
Right. So, I mean, there's definitely stances where you could do that, but I mean, yeah, people shouldn't be subjected to what they are in some of these studios.
So I'm also gonna make a thing is I think part of the problem I started having is when people talking about union talks started, so, like when me and you discussing like off thing, like we would just be like inherently a human conversation is you exaggerate like that, just like instead of 20 hours you say 25 hours or 30 hours, like just get a point across, right? And I think to me the NetherRealm story we're gonna jump into here kind of does that in a way where I'm very concerned about what is true versus what is false. Like what is not false as in lying, false as in exaggerations. Like the claim is that people at NetherRealms have worked 80 to 100 hour weeks consistently. Do you understand how long 100-hour weeks actually is?
Yes, and that's because my dad at one point was working 105-hour weeks.
My point is, it didn't. I'm not saying it didn't happen 1 or 2 weeks. I do not believe that a human being was working this for 6 months straight, and being okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a person do it,
But like I'm saying, like there's no way
The
that
burnout
the
is
entire
real,
studio
like-
was doing this for years,
right.
hundreds of people,
Like
and no
I
one
can
said
definitely
anything.
see.
I can see
Yeah.
a week or two, or maybe
Well,
a month.
But remember back when Red Dead 2 was coming out, and there was the comment from one of the writers.
About 100
I
hours.
think it was one of the Hauser brothers.
Yeah.
That they worked 100-hour weeks, a couple 100-hour weeks. For some people,
They want to.
they want to, and that drives them.
But also,
And-
did you remember during the said Rockstar story also? So some of the QA testers were claiming they worked 100 weeks, and then the issue became is then Rockstar did an internal audit of like hours working, and they said the average QA employee worked 45-hour weeks. They said yes, some employees worked the high end of it, but the point was we were using the statistics of the few to define what the many were doing.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the problems become with this discussion. I go, guys, I'm not saying there's problems, but like, let's not try to lie, because then it makes it worse when people find out either you're lying or exaggerating.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously these things will be figured out. Mm-hmm. And I say a solid will because if they don't, I think this industry is screwed.
But it's also it's this interesting thing of I think there's more issues with the industry than that. Also, I think another industry
Yeah.
issue becomes like I'm gonna say it. Games prices need to go up also, and like there's a lot of stuff in this industry of like people like no they don't. I'm like all of you are stupid. Like they do, and I think it's like we're just seeing a bunch of these little pieces that like need to be solved, and that's causing all of the problems together.
Yeah, I think if game prices don't go up,
Like this next generation, the games need to be $70, like period, end of story.
they need to be $100 realistically.
Well,
I
but
mean,
to be honest, like from a like without like keeping your people, it needs to be 70 or $80. I think is what games need to be
yeah.
on a blind number.
You know what they're going to go? They're just going to go to subscription model. So it's going to be $20 a month. And you get,
Which, if I remember, we all hated that.
you know, you get the EA access for $20 a month. Mm-hmm. And then you get the, you know, so you'll be buying effectively a game a month in subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's, you know, if they do it that way, if they go to this subscription, which I want to talk about the all digital Xbox, remind me about that
Okay.
when this is done. But we need to go to a subscription model at the very least if game prices don't go up. Because subscription models, like it or not, get money for a studio or for a developer or for a company.
I've heard mixed things, but I'll mostly agree with you.
Well, I mean, you take the Netflix case, which we'll talk about Netflix in a minute. The Netflix case is they figure even the most, I don't know, what would you call it? The most in-depth watchers, right? Of people watching everything on the service or leaving Netflix running 24/7. The few people that actually do that are outweighed significantly by the people that pay the $11 a month, watch one show, you know, for a week or two,
And then forget about it.
keep the subscription because they don't want to deal with the hassle of canceling subscription, then signing up again for the next show. Mm-hmm. So that's 2-3 months of free income, basically, to Netflix. And the Netflix thing is weird because they just keep taking debt out to develop projects.
That's called Silicon Valley more than anything else.
Well, I think it's the Midwesterner in me that says
Don't do that, you dumb bitch.
if you just take on debt for your projects, you're screwed.
Which I mostly agree with you. And then somehow there are these mystical companies that still exist for some odd reason.
Netflix should not exist.
It shouldn't. But okay, so to me, and I'm curious, I don't know.
Like
these
just
numbers.
numbers wise, Netflix should not exist.
No, and I
That's
agree
what
with
I'm
you. So
saying.
here's the thing I don't know. Because my example is I know Amazon and Tesla both do this. Can Netflix tomorrow stop all production and become profitable? Because that was the thing with Amazon for years. Is the reason they were still able to get investors is because at any point they were able to shut the spigot and become profitable on the dime.
I don't know if they are.
But I don't know if they are though. That's what's interesting to me because that's the whole Tesla and Amazon thing is they both literally can go profitable, not profitable, literally by flicking a switch, and every investor knows that, which is why they're safe investments.
I get what you mean, but for me personally, I don't think an electric car is a solid investment yet.
I think Tesla. The reason I think Tesla is different than Nissan doing or whatever is because they understand. I think they understand the feel of like what is the important points of a car more than it being electric. Where I think the other motor people trying to make electric cars don't have that like attitude, and also I think Tesla from a tech like from a presentation end, it's the Apple. They know what presentation is.
That's what Tesla does. Tesla does a presentation. Their cars, the interiors suck ass. The tech is pretty cool.
The tech's cool. I know we disagree on the interiors, but I think we both agree like from a tech end, Tesla is basically king.
But they, I don't know. They're just for the price that you're paying and what you're getting, they're too expensive. For now.
And I think we're both watching their prices drop at least over time decently. So I'm be curious in 5 years from now if this conversation is completely different.
The new Audi e-tron looks to be the first real Tesla competitor.
Yeah, because like Nissan Leaf is not a Tesla competitor, for example.
No, its range was absolutely terrible, which makes sense. It was a tiny car, so you can only fit so many batteries.
But at the same time, the way me and you both drive, we can't have cars that have like 100-mile to 200-mile capacity on them. We just can't.
I could do it if where I worked had a charging point.
Right, but that's
now. But
that's my issue. Like in general, especially because I deal with rush hour traffic too. I can't have a car at 200 because I'll be cutting it too damn close.
Well, no, you won't because it's electric, so you only use the power.
Right, but it's still
when you're accelerating.
My round trip to work and back is like 50-something miles. So like if I want to go, I can't go out. Like I can't do anything else that day.
You would be able to.
It's pushing it. It's pushing it to the point where I don't want to push it.
Well, and I think I get what you mean because you're coming from a gas mentality of you're wasting gas while you're sitting still. Mm-hmm. Whereas an electric car, you're not wasting really any electricity sitting still. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously you're wasting this stuff for your AC and stuff like that.
So maybe I agree with you, but there's still some line of like in the winter, for example, and I know they don't lose the same amount. Like winter, if all of a sudden that gets cut in half because it's -10 outside, I'm screwed.
Right. Yeah.
Then
definitely.
Then it's a good example of I am screwed.
But having a charge point at both ends is super important.
That's a way different story.
But yeah, what did I say I told you to remind me of? I even forgot about it.
You told me to remind you of a thing.
Yep. Somebody will tweet at us during when the episode goes up. Hey, why don't you talk about this? Yeah, I forget what it was.
I have no clue.
But yeah, things that we watched and played.
Do you want me to go first?
I just want to get. Yeah, I'm just going through the list, so we'll do that, and then we'll come back around to news.
Okay.
Something cool happened this past week.
What's that?
I got ranked in Forza Horizon 4.
Okay, so what does that mean? Is it the same as like any other like competitive game where they're like, you're silver, you're bronze, your penis is 2 inches, like the normal nonsense?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of. Because the current thing they're doing with Forza Horizon 4, I don't know if they're doing it for 3. I think they said they were going to.
Why would they go back? Oh,
the all digital Xbox One. That
was it. That's a good way to tie it in. Go on.
That's $250, by the way.
Which is too expensive.
And you get Forza Horizon 3, which is
which they
2.5
own a
years
goddamn
old.
Studio. Just give them 4. It's not like you're paying someone; you own them.
And then there was 2 other games, but they were Sea of Thieves was one of them.
So to me,
and
that
something
thing needs
else.
to be 200 or less. 200,
Yeah.
I think I would be in a different boat of. I think that was a good price. 250 is too much.
250 is way too much.
Because if I was them, you don't need to make a profit on that sucker. You need to break even on it, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Because your whole shtick is
You're gonna make
selling
a
Game
ton of
Pass.
money on
All
the-
you care
yeah.
about is Game Pass with that sucker. You don't care about selling games at all. That is your Game Pass device.
Yeah.
If you do it $200, $150, put it in everyone's homes, be like, and you know what you do at that point too? If you have an Xbox, whatever this version is called, Game Pass is $1 less a month. Great. There's your profit margin.
Yeah. So anyway, they do this thing called series,
Okay.
which is 4 weeks is make up one series, and each week is a different season. So if you don't know, Forza Horizon 4, they have all 4 seasons in the game. In previous Horizon games, winter was a DLC. Mm-hmm. And
I know it was DLC.
yeah. 3 was its own island. 2 was... I forget what it was. I haven't played 2 in so long. Anyway, so the seasons are part of the game. So each week is a season. And there's certain events in the series for that week that to do towards getting... So they changed the way the car pass works,
Okay.
which the car pass is the DLC, like the extra cars. It used to be you got them in chunks, and they did DLC packs,
Okay.
and you got those packs. They went away from that, and instead did cars through the series.
Okay.
So at 50% completion, you got a reward, which is usually a car. And then it used to be at 90%, but they backed it to 80. You got another reward, which was usually another car. And so everything you did was towards that progress bar. So there was a season progress bar and a series progress bar. So you could get 75% in all 4 series or all 4 seasons, but you wouldn't hit that 80% series mark because you didn't get 80% of everything for the series. And at the end of the list, they have 2 things that carry over from week to week throughout the series, and that's a hot lap race, so your fastest lap, and then it's getting ranked for online, qualifying for the series, ranked for the 4 weeks. And so I had never done the ranked because that required you to play the either team or solo adventures, which are kind of boring if you don't have anybody else that you know playing with you,
Oh, I can see that.
because it's like best 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5.
And you're just kind of
Stuff.
chilling.
Well, and it's just, if you're playing unranked, what you had to do, you had to level up your progress in that to level 3 to unlock ranked. So each result you got XP, and that went towards the progress bar of getting to level 3, and then you got to 3, and then you got to ranked. Well, then once you get to ranked, you need to do 10 adventures. And adventures are either 3 or 5 event things. And so you either have to win 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5 to win the series, to win the adventure. And so I went through the 10 finally just to get myself ranked and to get the rewards from this series for the first time hitting the 80%. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go through this and I'm going to get to League 20 and then have to work my way up from there, which is what I was expecting, right? You go through ranked and you start at the bottom and work your way up. So I did my 10th series, That finished, then a thing came up that it went from unranked to ranked for my level. And instead of 20, it put me at 17. So apparently I did well enough in the qualifiers to completely skip 20, 19, and 18. And I'm like 2/3 of the way through 17. And I like racing games, but I'm not super great at them. So I don't know how in the hell I jumped that many people. Because, and like, I wasn't even like, I wasn't getting sweaty to do these races. I was just like fucking around with them and trying to finish. So yeah, I got up to 17. I'm like, shit. Because at each tier you get rewards. And I didn't care what tier I got. I could have gone in there and just idled for the 3 to 5 events just to get ranked. But yeah, I got to 17, so that was fun. I'm never gonna play ranked again except to do the qualifiers. So yeah.
So do you feel like something like this? Because like to me, the rank stuff I've always been like, yeah, whatever. Did it actually add enjoyment to your game? Or you just like, well, it's there.
Well, because it's an entirely separate thing. Like my rank is completely separate to my progress throughout the game. I don't care about it a lot because I only did it to get the rewards. Because that's where I'm at with that game, is checking in every day to get my one skill that I have to do that goes towards the progress bar and then shutting it down. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't really care. I was more surprised at the fact that I shot to 17 instead of like I was doing pretty well. I think I won like 7 of the 10. Like, okay, like it's a high 20, low 19, right? No, I was 2/3 of the way through 17. I was like, shit. A lot of people must suck for me to get this high.
I'm glad you're confident in yourself.
Forza Horizon is a very interesting game, I'll put it that way.
I like you didn't use the word good. You just said interesting.
Well, it's a great game. It's just the stuff they're doing for 4 is so much different to what they did for 3.
Do you think it's interesting because it's the games of the service, but like racing games, I feel like have been inherently doing this forever, just no one paid attention to it.
The hardcore fans in racing games will always play the game.
But also,
and they'll play it until the new one comes out.
But like games of service, I feel like racing games are doing like a games of service idea forever. We just never called it then that. Because live events.
Well, if you want to be,
or
if you want to be, realistic about it, the games as a service has existed since iRacing started in the late 90s. So games as a service is nothing new. So... And yeah, racing games are... It's funny. Racing games are the video game equivalent of porn to the movie industry. Because racing games are always... Well, nobody talks about them, and they're always the first with the new tech.
Okay, I'm okay with that argument. I'll give you it too.
Or like the tech that they adopt is usually the one that becomes the standard. So porn accepted VHS, that became the standard. Porn went to DVD,
became the standard.
Porn went to Blu-ray, that became the standard. Like everything that the porn industry went to is what just became standard.
Which is very interesting if you think about it.
It is, but it isn't when you start to look at sales. Obviously, the internet has screwed everything over because now it's the tech that they're investing in is VR and resolution tech, and it's not physical media formats. But yeah, it used to be like video stores, right? They would buy the movies to rent out, And when they bought their porn movies that they had a section for, they usually would buy whatever media they were on for the rest of their movies. Because then it's one standard.
Mm-hmm.
It's not 18 different standards, right? So it's not VHS, Betamax, whatever else was on tape. Like, porn was on VHS, everybody else wants a VHS. Except for studios, TV studios. They all used Betamax. And in fact, some of them still do. Yep.
Okay. So that is Forza. One of the things I saw, which I thought was very interesting, was on Netflix. It's by a Canadian studio, but still on American Netflix. They did a documentary on For Honor, which I thought was very interesting. It was all about the lead developer, Jason Vanderbilt, who I've met a few times at GDC. He's a very interesting and unique guy. It's very interesting. He just went through, like, how did this game come to be, and, like, it's always been his dream to make it, and, like, just his emotional cycle of going through the game, and, like, what it's like to, like, let your game into the world and, like, watch it become something that by the end he could not be part of anymore because it was away from his vision, even though it was better for the game. And it's this very interesting tale of that.
Yeah, is that the studio that Eric Pope works at?
Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft Montreal.
Where he used to work at? One of the guys that the Giant Bomb family is friends with and does the...
Eric Pope is from Montreal, so maybe.
Does the... well, it was Eric Pope and... what's his name? Did the video game wrestling.
Yeah. I'm Mr. Pope on Twitter. I know who Eric Pope is.
Well, but those two guys, one of them worked with For Honor.
I
can't remember if it was Pope or...
but it's very interesting, though. I just thought of, like, because Jason Van was a very interesting person, and it was very, like, watching him, like, go through the cycle of, like, what it's like to, like, make your dream game, and then over time, like, know it's no longer yours, like, letting it go, kind of.
Yeah.
And I think that was what's very interesting about that story. It's also funny because half of it's in French, so obviously I didn't understand part of it. But I think it was a very cool documentary just going through this journey of, like, watching a major studio. Also, the other thing in there which I didn't realize that Ubisoft did, which I think is interesting, is Ubisoft greenlit what they define as a small team, which is like 40 people. They do a bunch of them, and then they each get like 6 months to make a game, and then they do every year they basically do an annual retreat into Paris, and then basically the executive team like greenlits a couple games from this list, and the rest of them get canceled.
Yeah. I mean, they seem like the most interesting of the main
publishers.
Outside of like some of the stuff Sony does, but
yeah,
I think that's more of the Japanese culture kind of disappearing in that company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also watched Too Funny to Fail, which did we talk about that ever?
I don't know if we ever did.
Okay, so Too Funny to Fail is the documentary on Hulu about the Dana Carvey show. So Dana Carvey, I don't know, do you know who Dana Carvey is?
Yeah. And then he did an improv show.
That's the Dana Carvey show.
Didn't last a very long, right?
It lasted 8 episodes. Actually, it lasted 7. They didn't premiere the 8th. So this is what's insane about this show. So Dana Carvey, to put in perspective, said Bill Hader, they interviewed a lot too. He did a great perspective. He goes, put in perspective, I was on SNL for 8 years when Bill Hader left, okay? Bill Hader, I think it was in the New York Times, got a 2-paragraph thing, right? Saying he left, here's his bio. Dana Carvey got a 2-page, and it was the front 2 pages of the New York Times, explaining how upsetting people were when he left. To put in perspective how big of a deal Dana Carvey was.
Well, I mean, it would be like, the thing of it is, right, Dana Carvey is to SNL what, like, Sandler was.
Yeah, like, I don't think I realized how important Dana Carvey was.
Hader
was good. Hader, I think, is one of the modern greats. Modern. And I'm putting that kind of, like, last 10 years, Hader's one of the best.
But think about it this way, right? When was the last time people were like, "Oh yeah, this is a great SNL cast"?
I think the 2000
15 years
See,
ago.
okay, so I'm gonna give an argument. I don't think it's the great cast. I think the 2010 to like 2012 class, which still included Bill Hader, it still included. God, I could picture the guy in my head.
Amy Poehler,
What
Keenan
is-
Thompson. That may have been his first
Um,
year there.
it pictured. Oh God,
Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon.
I think Jimmy Fallon is about the way out to this point. Will Forte was on. Fred Armisen was still here. Jason Sudeikis, who I was thinking of. Like you have this group of like this still really. I think that was still a really strong group.
Yeah.
And you can even see what they've done since then to see that they actually were a decently strong group as a whole.
Yeah. But I mean,
I think that's the last super strong SNL cast personally.
yeah. Well, like when Carvey was on SNL, SNL was must-see TV.
That's true. So this is my favorite thing about. So Dana Carvey then decided he wanted to do a small stage sketch show. So he did this whole shtick of, okay, let's go to the different networks, and eventually ABC, who just got bought by Disney, by the way, which is what I'm about to explain, makes it 1,000% funny. Okay. Dana Carvey hires lead writer who's an old SNL guy. His second writer in command, an unknown comedian by the name of Louis C.K. His two main people he hired as writers, such main stars, unknown comedians named Stephen Colbert and Steve Carell. They didn't hire Jimmy Fallon because Louis C.K. thought he was too much of a fuckboy and threatened to quit. Can you process what I just said of the list of people that Dana Carvey's career he started?
Well, who's the other one that like? There's another person that you looked at their cast list and it was like, okay.
But again, it's this insane thing. And I forget too that like Stephen Colbert and Steve Carell were like both Second City boys who were like broke at the time.
Yeah.
And the thing about like where they are now, and like even to this day, they're like Dana Carvey made our career. So like without Dana Carvey, we'd be nobody. Okay, so the opening picture. This is you ready for the opening skit of the show? Prime time on ABC after Home Improvement. So you know exactly what Home Improvement is, right? The family-friendly show. Opening skit, okay? Picture this. This is like when there's Bill and Hillary Clinton stuff of like the rumors of the affair was going on. So the opening skit is Dana Carvey dressed as Bill Clinton explaining how Hillary's not good image for the country, so I've locked her in a closet. And you see go to footage of Hillary Clinton trying to escape the closet, okay? He's then explaining how he could be motherly like a mother for this country to let us heal. So then they decided to put on Dana Carvey, put 8 fake breasts with working milk pumps on them. So then he started taking babies to then drink from his breast if he could feed the country. And the skit involved like taking cats who could feed from him, taking little puppies to feed from him. And that was the entire shtick of the opening skit of the show. After Home Improvement, they said so it was at the time the CEO of ABC was like he was doing minute by the minute ratings, like so you could see when stuff. Legitimately, they lost 95% of their audience. 6 million people turned the show off within 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, the reason they did that is because it's called a tentpole. So you have Home Improvement, you had the slot there, and then your 11 o'clock news.
But think about like how actually astronomical insane that is.
Oh, I totally get it. But the thing of it is, Dana Carvey, now, looking back on his stuff, it isn't as funny as I thought it was when I first watched it.
It depends on the thing.
Like Wayne's World?
Wayne's World is okay. It doesn't hold up.
Yeah, not as funny as I thought it was.
The thing is, though,
Master of Disguise, hell of a lot worse than I thought it was.
So the thing I think with Wayne's World, which becomes interesting to me, is Wayne's World back then was unknown comedy, where now I feel like every comedian tries to be that type of comedy, so it's not this like unique thing anymore.
Yeah,
And Because think about how many millennial comedians now are doing the "I'm not funny, I'm really weird," which is funny thing.
There's too many. It's just I don't like that style of comedy.
I don't either. That's my issue with a lot of the modern stuff. I'm like, I don't get that style.
The only person that I like that style is Eric Andre.
I'm here or there on Eric Andre. I understand the
Because
moments where he's
he
funny,
goes so far.
but I think Eric Andre is also making fun of that style.
Yeah, oh, he is, because he goes so far.
Like we all know the Eric Andre meme,
Which one?
the one where someone gets shot and they keep shooting them.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to talk about the one where it's the fence and he's shaking on it.
Oh yeah.
Let me in! So yeah, is that everything you've...
Yeah, that's all my big stuff.
So yeah, let's get back into the news. The Vive Index was... The pre-orders are up.
Can we discuss that name?
You can.
Do you like it?
I don't know why it would... I don't know why they called it that. I don't know why they didn't call it something different.
I don't know, Index to me just feels like my issues becomes a relatively generic of a name to me.
It makes me wonder if this, like, the Index is the first of a set of headsets.
Yeah, that is true. That name does make it feel like you go Index and then you start like naming it based upon positions.
Yeah. So there's a couple tier prices. All in, it's $1,000. Which isn't much more than what my Vive was.
It isn't, but I still think it's the sense of, and I know it's Valve, but in the sense of we're putting a new, relatively unknown in this space.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the price concerns me.
That being said, the tech appears to be Vive, or I wrote Vive on the sheet. It's the Valve Index.
Vive.
The
Valve.
Vive Pro screens are maybe a little bit even worse than what the Index is going to be. And the Index is $400 cheaper than the Pro. And it's using the new Pro base stations and the new controllers. Whereas the Pro was using, obviously, a new headset and new base stations, but the same Vive controllers. So, yeah, and there's tiers. There's the headset and controllers, if you already have base stations. There's just the headset. There's just the controllers and just the base stations. Which, like, for me, I would just get the headset. I mean, I might get the headset and controllers, but because I already have the base stations, I don't need the base stations.
So that's what, $750?
Yeah, $750 for the headset and controllers. Which, when you think about it, isn't terrible.
I don't think it's terrible. My concern just becomes, so what's interesting to me is, like, in theory, as generations, the rapidness of the VR generations are going, they should be becoming cheaper and not more expensive. And that's what I think also is concerning me a bit.
I think the thing of it is this Index is...
The highest of ends.
Yeah, it's the highest end thing, so it's going to be the most expensive, or one of the most expensive, because it's reaching at, you know,
but to me,
the bleeding edge, not even the cutting edge, the bleeding edge of this tech.
My concern is right now, so the middle, which I think the middle is about to be, has become the Oculus Quest, which I think what the middle should become. And my concern is if everyone keeps fighting their way to the top and then suffocating each other, that we want some people at the top to push it up, but I don't think we're, like, helping.
Yeah. Well, there's no... I mean, Oculus is going to have the middle sector.
Because I think the Quest is a good middle, especially by all accounts of how it works.
Like, there's no competition really in the middle. Like, those Windows mixed reality things are okay. And, you know, all the phone stuff is cheaper. So that low end of the phone-based VR is going to get swallowed up, you know. Samsung and Google and well, the Oculus is basically just a Samsung, but they're the ones that are going to make it out of that. Then the Quest is going to sit nicely in the middle where there's no Vive competitor, because the Vive and like the original Oculus are a tier above that. And then you have the Index, the Vive Pro, and the
Oculus, whatever they're calling it.
yeah, the Oculus Pro, whatever they call it.
I think there's a better name, but yeah, it's the Oculus Pro.
So yeah, VR is definitely going to be an interesting area in the next, I'd say, 3 to 5 years.
Which again, people like it's dead. I don't think it's dead. I just think it's this interesting thing of I think they're fighting in the wrong verticals. Personally.
Well, and I think the thing of it is people aren't hearing anything, but like from all accounts, PSVR sold incredibly well
for what it is. Because even if you even hear like Shuei Yoshida, who is in charge of first place he even like the way he was talking about it, like based on internal projections, like they knew what they were doing. Of like, we know this is going to sell 50 million units, but we like that's not a goal right now.
Yeah.
Or even you have stuff like HoloLens 2 is coming out, which I know is AR and MR, but it's an interesting thing of like even Microsoft isn't giving up in this space in this way you think like where Google Glass was giving up. So this makes me feel like those companies are being still interested in it. And there has to be a reason they are. There has to be a reason, or they would have given up by now.
Yeah. I think there may have been some companies that would stick it to the end just to
Yeah, but like if
say they never died.
But like if you're HTC, I don't know if I would have.
Well, HTC doesn't have anything. Like they got rid of their phones, they got rid of their computers. Like
It's true.
the Vive was
HTC.
HTC.
Which is funny because everyone used to consider the Vive the Valve headset, ironically enough, and now there is a Valve headset.
Yeah. And I mean, Valve does when they do hardware.
How upset do you think HTC was when they found out?
I don't think they cared at all.
But like you knew that like the way the Vive was advertised was it was the Valve. It wasn't Valve, but like everyone treated it as the Valve headset. Like it was the Steam integration was built in. You had all of that.
Think of it this way, right? Like if you're HTC, you got all the sales for the Vive and the Vive Pro. So people already have that hardware in their house.
Mm-hmm.
And now Valve releases a headset where they can use that hardware. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could, they may even sell the original base stations that are going to be cheaper. And then, have people pick and choose. Like, okay, you're going to get the Index headset with the controllers, but then you're getting the Gen 1 base stations. And you could save, $100. Or if you already have the Gen 1 base stations, like I do, you're saving, I think it's 150 or 200 for the base stations.
Mm-hmm.
I had mentioned that we were going to get back to Netflix, and it's because there was a story between the two shows. I can't exactly that the reason you see a lot of the Netflix shows that get canceled after their second season and not sticking around for a third is because after a third season, once a show enters its third season, royalties get very interesting.
So by who describes this rule? Like, is it a Netflix rule?
No, this is the royalty checks? This is a SAG rule.
Okay.
So in their contracts, it's if you're on a syndicated show, your royalties get paid on every time an episode airs.
Yes, how does that work with Netflix? I've always wondered how that works with Netflix.
It's probably just a lower amount.
But they still probably do some level of...
Yeah.
Because my assumption is it's based how Spotify works is similar way of like from the subscription end. They say we're gonna say $10 or easy math. Netflix goes $6 is actors royalties or whatever royalties, and then we just divide of how many get what based on viewership.
Right. So yeah, like the average. Well, I guess Seinfeld in a weird way is the easiest show to use
Because
they continually have these giant
so is Friends.
syndication deals.
Friends is too.
Friends isn't $1 billion every time it gets renewed.
It's something around there though.
It's close. Well, I think at the end the Friends actors were making $1 million an episode.
Yeah, they were the first times
But-
that a show did groups like that together. They said everyone has to be paid the same. They're notorious for the first show to do that.
Yeah. But so like Seinfeld, let's just take their first $1 billion thing, right? So what that meant was it's not like Jerry Seinfeld got his chunk right up. It was that $1 billion is going to be spread across
10 years or whatever it was.
I think it was 10 years. So every time an episode airs that you are credited in, you get a check for whatever that would be.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they had a dollar amount attached to that deal is because they had a plan.
Mm-hmm.
They knew exactly how many times that show was going to air.
Because most networks were like, they fought for a slot and they'd keep that slot forever.
Right, so
you
it's
can say
going to
from
be...
Seinfeld. Seinfeld consistently does ratings,
Right.
even to this day.
So Netflix is like, well, screw this. Like, if we've got a failing show,
Goodbye.
yeah, goodbye after the second season. Like, there's no way we're making a third
Which is
because we're not going to pay you
interesting.
guys.
That explains why most Netflix shows at least get a second season even if they suck. Wasn't the rule forever was Netflix had the 2-season rule, basically?
Well, yeah, and there's so many problems with Netflix that we could do an entire podcast on what I believe Netflix should change, but like an entire podcast series, not just a show. There's a lot of problems there that they need to change, and if they do, or if they keep their stance, I could see the way we consume media to change in the next 10 years in an extreme fashion. Yeah. We'll do this last story, and then the other stuff we'll include in our Endgame talk.
Okay.
Sad note to the end of the first half of this episode.
I'm sorry, I was trying
Yeah.
to do my expression.
Peter Mayhew passed away at, what was it, 71?
74.
74? And I was talking to my parents about this, and I'm like, I'm honestly surprised he lived that long, because tall people generally don't
You guys didn't
live...
have a problem or
super
whatever?
long. I don't remember what it was, but, like,
I thought-
just in general, like, the taller you are, the shorter you live.
That's true. I thought there was something. He was abnormally tall, and I thought he had some genetic thing.
He may have. Like, Andre the Giant had a tumor in his brain that caused his
Growth.
the growth hormone to continually be released. And he died from a massive heart attack because of that.
He was super young also. Not this, but he was super young.
46.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, obviously a somber end to the end of this first half of the episode. And now there will be 2 tributes at the end of whatever the fuck episode 9 is called.
Rise of Skywalker. Not the Skywalker, Skywalker.
Sure. Whatever.
Which is very interesting that they purposely did not put the. Which makes me.
Star Wars is stupid. Let's end this first half.
Oh god, why did you say that out loud?
You know it is.
I'm not commenting. I refuse to comment.
Star Wars is stupid. You can have fun watching it. It's just stupid. Like,
God.
yeah. So if you don't want Endgame spoilers, Obviously, your episode is going to end here in a very short time. But for those that have seen Endgame or don't give a shit about spoilers, second half of the show will be coming right up with that talk. But here's an ad. To whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
I was honestly trying to remember what the tagline for...
I'm proud of you. You did remember it. I was expecting you to fuck it up so bad. How do you want to start this?
This may have been the first... second Marvel movie that I've... third Marvel movie I've enjoyed.
Whoa. So you actually enjoy... So this is actually positive from you?
Yeah.
Wow, I expected it. I'm gonna be honest. I expect you to be like, well, it was kind of boring. You know, it's pointless. I don't...
I'm curious to think what you think the other two are.
Guardians?
No.
Okay, so it's not Guardians, so it's definitely not Thor Ragnarok. Winter Soldier?
Oh, shit. I did like Ragnarok.
Okay.
I honestly forgot about Ragnarok.
Winter Soldier?
I think I saw it once, but it's...
Because that feels like a you movie.
memorable.
Well, you had of like one of the Iron Mans. I'm gonna say one.
Yeah.
So you like Iron Man 1.
Yep.
What the fuck should the... I'm trying to think.
Ragnarok.
Okay,
Which Ragnarok isn't the
one you're
other
thinking.
one. It's...
That's what I'm
there's
trying to
one
think.
more.
Because I doubt it's a Phase 1 thing. Don't fucking tell me it's Avengers 1.
Mm-mm.
What is it?
It's fairly recent.
Is it Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Oh, no.
Is it Spider-Man?
No, but
Is that passable to you?
it's passable.
Oh, no,
I think eventually I will come to like...
I don't love
Homecoming.
I don't love Spider-Man. I'm not sitting here defending Spider-Man. I'm trying to think though like what it is. God, what is it?
It's a Phase 3.
Whoa, I'm sorry, you cut out?
Phase 3.
It's not Infinity War.
No.
Like say no, you had a negative-ish. Not negative, but Thor Ragnarok, Guardians Volume 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I'll put it this way. The reason I don't like the Guardians movies is because they're just kind of stupid.
Okay.
Like, the soundtrack's great. Don't get me wrong. The soundtrack's great. And
Do you like
Drax
Doctor Strange?
No. Drax is a hilarious character.
Oh, you just like Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
Drax
but other than...
Dave Bautista's an actor in that movie. He was going to get in a script, I believe. I believe he just said, Dave Bautista, do your best impression of Triple H and go.
Yeah, the Guardians movies, I just could never...
So what is it then?
It's Captain Marvel.
Really? Okay.
For a very specific reason.
Never in a million years would I have gone to Captain Marvel.
There's a very specific reason I like Captain Marvel. No. It feels the least like a Marvel movie.
In
Like,
recent time, I'll give you
yeah.
in recent time. I think something like Winter Soldier to me also breaks the mold in that regard.
But think about the ones that I like: Iron Man 1, Thor Ragnarok, and Captain Marvel. They're the least Marvel.
I'm surprised
of
Winter
the Marvel
Soldier
movies.
isn't on that list for you then, because to me it's in the same boat in that regard.
I think the reason it isn't in that boat is because I saw it once,
Okay.
and it was,
Because to
I just-
me,
yeah.
the strength of Winter Soldier is why it's one of my favorites, is because to me it's more about like a Cold War thriller than it is a superhero movie. It's my Logan Western argument.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the, what would that be? 1, 2, 3, fourth Marvel movie that I've liked.
So Endgame, I think, is my favorite Marvel movie, so this is where it gets interesting. I think
Endgame's not my favorite, but
I think Endgame's
it's up there.
found a beautiful way to pay off a lot of the things we wanted to do happen. And I think Endgame has a bunch of emotional turns. So obviously the big emotional thing is the like when you have the two of them fighting who gets to kill themselves is a good moment that I think was well earned.
Yeah.
And also you
Speaking
knew it
of
was
which-
coming.
Yeah. That opening the Hawkeye scene,
Yeah.
was that in something?
No.
Because my neighbor who didn't see it described that opening Hawkeye scene basically shot for shot.
So
And he hadn't seen Endgame.
so what did the way you could get something similar to that is Age of Ultron, like they were on that farm. So I wonder if there's something
But like
there.
he
he's-
specifically addressed that they got snapped.
I think that was never a thing that was public because that was very much a shocking moment in the theater. Like that was as the cold open.
Yeah, and he described that basically shot for shot.
It's interesting.
And he specifically hadn't seen Endgame, and you know, I saw it that Friday morning and saw him Friday night. He was seeing it Saturday. And when I was talking to him, I was like, "Yeah, it opens in a really different way."
So what do you think of that opening? Because I think it's an interesting way to set up the tone of the movie.
Yeah, when it serves as the open for your movie.
It wouldn't make sense. Like to me, there's something really cool about it because obviously the post-credit scenes recently have been like where the rest of the snaps have been happening. I think it's very interesting that they saved that one for like not an end credit scene, but like we're just reminding you of what the fuck happened.
I was almost wondering if it was an end credit scene that I didn't watch.
No, that's all because the end credit scenes were Ant-Man and the Wasp had that end credit scene, and Captain Marvel had Captain Marvel appearing, which to me was interesting because to me that could have also, if you wanted to switch them, that could have been the cold open of the movie, and you switch it as Hawkeye being the end credit for Captain Marvel. Would have been how I would have ran it.
I don't know. It just the way they used that scene to just establish the
It was
tone.
so slow, and that's what gets it too. Is you knew what the fuck was happening, but like it was so slow, it was painful to like just know what was gonna happen.
I think the person a couple seats down from me, I heard an audible gasp when Hawkeye turns around and his family's gone.
Because a part of me was, I was wondering if they're gonna do like an emotional stir of like with Peter and Iron Man. I was wondering if they're gonna do like the kid, and you could see the happen to the kid or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But I will say, it then goes from that into
The death toll I really like.
the death toll was interesting, but the end credits, they finally fixed it because it was stupid. Like, I understood the movies that released
During the 10th anniversary.
during 2018 because that was the 10th anniversary of Iron Man 1. During the 10th anniversary for your studio, I understand.
It was Iron Man 1's birthday like 2 years ago.
I thought it was 2008.
Yeah, but the 11th anniversary. His birthday, I didn't say 10th
Oh.
anniversary.
Yeah, sorry. That stupid 10 in their logo. They kept it, and Captain Marvel had it. Thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. And I think I even mentioned when we were talking about Captain Marvel, I really hope Endgame doesn't have that.
Also, I want to put this out.
Sure enough.
You were right, because Endgame did not have the opening Stan Lee thing. I thought of you when I saw that.
Oh, his cameo?
No, the opening. Remember how Captain Marvel, the opening credits were all Stan Lee?
Yeah, his cameos.
Yeah, they didn't have it this time, which I thought. Do you know what's interesting though? Was every single one of the things were heroes that were still alive. So like where there would be Black Panther, they showed the female instead and stuff because she's alive and stuff, which I thought was very interesting.
Oh, in the
Opening
shots?
Yeah, they didn't have
Yeah.
like Black Panther, no Spider-Man, no Doctor Strange.
I didn't notice that, but
That was a cool
I was just
touch.
happy that they got rid of the stupid 10.
I thought it was a cool touch that they did that. Also, I liked the music in it. It was a good like setting the mood.
Yeah.
So back on this main plot of the movie though, what to me was very interesting is the opening 15 minutes of that film is what I thought the whole film would basically be. In a bigger scale, obviously, but like I assumed it was them figuring out how to go find Thanos and go to space. I didn't realize that would be the opening 15 minutes of the film, and you're like, the fuck is this film?
Well, yeah, when they kill him, I'm like,
Because in my head, I'm like,
there's still like
hours.
over 2.5 hours.
Also in my head, I'm like, who's the villain of this film? Because in my head, obviously Thanos is the villain, and then you kill Thanos, and I'm like, what? I was actually being like, I don't know who the enemy is.
And that was when it went from being, this ain't a Marvel movie. Like, this is a gritty movie. Like,
Which it is. I think it's a strength of this film, is it's so fucking gritty.
yeah, this isn't a fun campy superhero movie. This is it's not as gritty as Saving Private Ryan, because that movie goes places.
But it's very much, they understood, they're like, okay, we understand the Marvel film, but like, let's make it this thing of like, you tell deaths matter. The heroes aren't who you remember them being. Some of them might gain some weight. I'm gonna say it, I don't care what online says, Fat Thor is one of the best things that the Marvel's ever done in their life.
Well, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a really good breakdown of it on Reddit that I saw. I couldn't remember if it was movies or in the Marvel subreddit, of Fat Thor, depressed Thor, is a great example of how most people deal with depression. Like, they don't act depressed, they act like they're happy, but obviously something's wrong.
But Fat Thor was so... Like, okay, Fat Thor, when Rocket got him with a beer onto the ship... What kind of beer?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember from Ragnarok, and I only remember this because I saw something recently, but Odin makes a mention of how Asgard isn't a place.
Yeah.
It's a mentality. Mm-hmm. It's a people. And the town was called New Asgard.
That was pretty funny.
Like, I thought, okay, yeah, this is cool. I will say the buildup of Captain Marvel through her movie was such a letdown for the use that they actually had her.
So,
and for the movie.
The opening when she saves Tony, I think is stupid. I think in the moment when she comes up and like she destroys Thanos' ship, it's such a cool powerhouse moment.
At the end,
I think her in the that final fight is objectively better than her in the first half of the film.
What, the 2 shots she's in?
Yes, I'm specifically going to. No, she's in 3 shots. She's the opening thing. She's the girl's power moment, and then she stops him from snapping his fingers, with the reality stone moment.
Hold on. She saves Tony.
So she saves Tony in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
She's in the dumb holographic scene.
Right.
Then we flash forward after she leaves, and
is that the 5 years later?
5 years later is holographic. So it basically
Right.
saves Tony, leaves, which I assume is the same shot. Then you go to
5 years later.
holographic. Then we go to she blows up Thanos' ship during the fight, which I would argue is 1. Then she's part of the entire girl's powerhouse moment, which even though she's more than 1 shot, I'd be counting as 1. And then the other one is when Thanos is about to snap fingers, she pulls down the gloves, he pulls off the reality stone and emits her away.
Right.
Which I was like, so I'm gonna say it, I think the girl's power moment is really fucking cool in the shots.
Oh yeah. Yeah, in the moment that
I understand like it's campy and whatever, but in the moment it's actually a really like the way they pull it off. It's like when you first see like Potts in that suit, you're like, who the fuck is that?
And they totally did the Chekhov's gun. Yeah. Because Tony's daughter has the helmet, and he makes mention of it's a present he got.
But no one put
Pepper.
that together. I don't know I don't care who the fuck you are. No one was like, obviously that's Potts' Iron Man suit. Like, no one thought that at all.
Well, no, I recognized the mask. Mm-hmm. I didn't necessarily put two and two together at first.
I understand, like, looking back, I do too. But in the moment, there's no way I was ever gonna put that together.
No, but they perfectly pulled off a Chekhov's gun. Like, Marvel is pretty notorious of when they do a Chekhov's gun, they just kind of blow it.
But that wasn't good.
This was the perfect one.
It was so I think that's really cool. I personally like I understand how we got to the idea of time travel was kind of stupid, but I like the time travel in the sense of they're like, okay, let's go to Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's go to a really emotional spot where we have to kill one of two best friends. Let's go to the original fucking Avengers fight, and who the goddamn it thought, let's make Thor Dark World matter? Who the hell was like, this is the movie, guys?
Well, because they have to find each stone.
No, but it's, you know, I mean, it's kind of funny that, like, they found a way to make the movie that everyone was like, the only way they could have been is if they went to the Incredible Hulk. That's the only way it could have been more insane.
Well, in the when they go back to when they're at when obviously they fuck up the
Oh yeah, and they
Tesseract.
go back to 1970.
And which, by the way, that Stanley cameo is hilarious.
It is. A part of me wishes
but
we
they
saw
go
him
back
be
and say,
vaporized,
okay.
but yeah.
Nah.
I know you can't because it's Stan Lee, but a part of me wishes we saw like a snap moment with him.
But then they go back and the interaction with Howard.
That's a good interaction.
Like, that must have been. Was that supposed to be Winter Soldier? Or was that supposed to be
What are you talking about?
the
1970?
original?
Oh, so yeah, you wouldn't know this. 1970 is when Howard Stark and Peggy basically form S.H.I.E.L.D. It's right as the formation of S.H.I.E.L.D. is. I don't know if it's right before or right after, but like that's basically when S.H.I.E.L.D. was formed in what we define as S.H.I.E.L.D.
What movie was that in?
There wasn't. Agent Carter was a TV show that they kind of explained that in.
Okay. It was.
That's the same
okay,
actress.
so they did tie in.
So that's the same actress,
They did
and
do that.
Jarvis, even though it's
Yeah.
his voice, it's not actually that's not actually the voice character, but that is her character in Agent Carter. He has his actual voice though, not the voice they put him as.
Okay.
That's all that is. And in Winter Soldier, they kind of explained it, but not a ton.
Gotcha.
But no, so I think that's really cool. I do like the whole Avengers fight though, how they found a way to like add scenes to the Avengers fight, and like they de-aged fucking everyone for that fight.
They did, but I almost wonder how much of that they had, in spare shots already.
But a lot of it they couldn't have, like, because the way some of them interact, obviously they didn't. Like, the Robert Redford stuff, the rumor is that was legit new shots.
Yeah.
Because Redford at that point wasn't in Avengers 1, so they didn't know he was a character, probably.
Right.
Any of those things, like the elevator. The elevator sequence was such cool because, like in Winter Soldier, that was the elevator shots. That, like during that moment, it's so tense until he goes, "Hail Hydra!" You're like, are they about to do it? Are they about to do the fight?
Yeah, but I mean, like some of those practical shots that they did, like in the apartment in the Stark Tower. Like, I have to imagine they had a bunch of cameras to shoot that stuff anyway.
Oh, those I bet you. Yeah, we had extra.
So I wonder how much of that was footage they literally just had lying around.
Well, that I can see some of that, but I meant there's some like interaction moments where I don't think it was.
Yeah.
But also,
Oh yeah, there's definitely stuff that they had to go in and.
2012 New York, when Hulk sees young Hulk and he goes, and they're like, "You need to smash some stuff," and he goes, "I think that's grotesque," and rips off his shirt and like lightly smashes a car.
Smart.
I still believe they got away with Professor Hulk also. Like, think about how insane that is. You're like, we have Professor Hulk and Fat Thor in this movie.
Well, in the photo. I'm Ant-Man. Do you want a picture with me? No, it's
Take
okay.
it, take it.
No,
Goddamn,
really.
take your phone back.
Dude, I was waiting because I knew it was PG-13, and the way that they were,
Using those swear words.
using the language, I was waiting for the fuck.
Yeah, they use shit liberally in this movie.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I understand we could get away with it, but like this seems like we're pushing lines.
Well, and obviously it was at some point in there the Captain America switch turned off. Mm-hmm. Because
But like you started to see it in past movies, and that's when like I accepted it from his character arc because you started to see it change like over time. It's like this is the biggest change, but we saw it happen kind of.
well, in the thing I'm referencing is when I watched Iron Man recently on Hulu.
Yeah.
The next thing that autoplayed was Age of Ultron.
And that's the moment where he language.
Yeah, language. Yeah.
Which also, me watching Age of Ultron recently, for sure, like, helped some of this movie when they did certain moments. I was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. Like, you know the moment we have not talked about yet? When Captain America picks up the fucking hammer.
Well, it's mentioned.
It's Age of Ultron where that moment happens, yeah.
The moment happens, but I'll say this only because I've read the recaps. Mm-hmm. It was mentioned in the first Thor that it's whoever is deemed worthy.
And that's true, but the whole point was that was Age of Ultron when they were going in the circle, and it kind of moved, and that was the Thor moment of, and oh, he didn't pick it up, and like Thor's content. Yeah. And that was why it was so great, though. Thor's about to fucking die. And then Cap does that, and you just hear Thor go, I knew it!
Yeah.
And then you had the epic fight where then they get into it, and Thor's like, no, you get the small one.
Yeah.
Also, so right during that fight, when Doctor Strange appears and brings everyone fucking back, is actually, that's such a cool, like, set up the fight. That's the first time we ever see, like, the true Avengers assemble line like that, too.
Yeah.
And you see everyone who, like, you see the Avengers that way in its entirety.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool scene.
Also, I don't know if you caught it too. That was when it was Cap. I'm on your left. That's because that's during Winter Soldier when he meets Falcon. He keeps doing laps around him. He keeps saying I'm on your left like continually. Is where that comes from.
Okay, yeah, and see. I can't remember Winter Soldier. I did like the shot of, Tony Stark asked Doctor Strange,
"Is this the one?
How many? Yeah, is this the one?"
And then nobody puts his
he's
finger
like,
up.
I can't tell you. Yeah, he goes, I can't tell you because I could change the outcome. And then the things start to change, and he just gives him a 1. I'm like, okay.
So that to me that whole like, the only reason that glove thing makes sense is because we explained nanobots in Infinity War. The only reason why it makes sense why he was able to take stuff off the glove like that.
Nanomachines.
But again, at least if they explained it in Infinity War, which at least makes it acceptable. If they didn't explain it, I'd be like, the fuck happened?
Yeah, I will say, I saw somebody say that basically the line for Stark and Captain America is almost the exact same. Of the "you can rest now."
But it's such a good line.
Yeah, but just the way that they both go out, like feeling content with what they did.
It is. And Captain America to me, the upsetting thing I'm gonna say is, Bucky should be Cap, not Falcon.
He should be, but there's a reason that they're doing it.
I understand, but like just because who's the super soldier?
Yeah.
And I don't get me wrong.
Yeah, there's definitely a reason why they're doing.
We all know the next Cap's gonna start both of them. I'm just saying, if I said who should become Cap, it should have been Bucky over Falcon.
Yeah. Also, apparently, they had the kid from
Iron Man 3. Which I did not recognize that. No, I forgot there was a kid in Iron Man 3 until someone pointed that out.
I saw something about the kid. I thought it was the kid from, I think, isn't it Age of Ultron, where he's like fixing up the tractor?
No, that's Iron Man 3.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was thinking of the right scene.
You would think the right scene, just
movie.
the wrong movie. I forgot the kid
Okay.
existed. I try to wipe Iron Man 3 out of my mind.
And then, so there was obviously Pepper and the family. Cap wasn't there. May and Peter.
What do you mean Cap wasn't there?
Was he at the funeral?
Yeah, this is he did the scene where he leaves is after.
Right. I'm trying to
Because he's in
remember
the
who was at
so he's
funeral.
not in the Cap America group. He's in the front group with the main Avengers. That's probably
Okay,
where you're
that's
dividing
what-
him. Because there's that back group where it's the Cap people with Scarlet Witch and Falcon and Bucky.
Yeah.
He's in the front group with like Hulk and stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. And then you have Captain Marvel standing at the back. I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah, Captain Marvel
You-
and the Nick Fury's behind her, appearing.
yeah, I'm like, you did jack shit in this movie. You do not deserve that position. Or maybe you do, because you did jack shit.
Hey, she did save the day. Say what you want during
She's-
it. She literally saved them.
She did, but the way that they build up her character, it's such...
So her
I'm going to
being
use
able
a phrase that I love.
her
Her
blowing up the
character is
ship-
such a wet fart.
So her blowing up the ship makes sense because in Captain Marvel they made a point of how she could blow up ships, and that's okay. That's an acceptable
Yeah.
plot. The girl power scene we both agree is fine.
Yeah.
The glove thing, I don't know how I feel about. I think it's a cool fight scene in the sense of how it ends with the Reality Stone.
Well, and she's powered by the Tesseract,
She's
right?
powered
So,
by no, she's powered by the power stone, not the Tesseract. She's powered by the
isn't...
oh,
I
it is
thought
Tesseract.
it was
You're
the
right, it is
blue
Tesseract.
one.
I was
Yeah.
confusing Tesseract and the staff, Loki's staff. You're right, it is Tesseract. No, it's Loki's staff.
They're the same thing.
No, it's Power Stone. No, Loki's staff and Tesseract is different. A Tesseract is Space Stone. Loki's staff is the Mind Stone.
Or, yeah.
That's why
They're both blue, though, aren't they?
Yes,
both blue cubes.
So now they're blue and orange. In the original Avengers, they were, and that was the problem. So they retconned that. That's an actual plot hole they had in the Avengers.
Okay, but
So when they went back in time, they dealt with
Captain Marvel is
a stone.
Tesseract. Yeah, she's powered by a stone.
Yes. No, she's a yes. She has the power of a stone.
So it makes sense that she would be able to...
Fight him hand to hand.
Yeah.
And but I do like how they end it with the Reality Stone, and that's when everyone's like, "Oh fucking no!"
And then...
That's when Doctor Strange looks at
Yeah.
Iron Man and goes, "One."
Yeah. But yeah, the Captain America, that was a great way to send off his character.
People are like, it's confusing the timelines. I'm like, it's not confusing. They explained the timeline shit.
Yeah, he says exactly what
He
happened.
explained how if you go there, it's a new reality, and your past does not affect the present because basically it creates a new timeline where that is true. But the timeline you experienced is still true for the people in your timeline. So no, he explained it super well and it makes sense. And basically, for Cap to be at that bench, what that realistically probably means is in his timeline, he went to where said machine is and just went back to this time.
Yeah. Or when he found the machine or a machine, came back.
Because basically what they said is that they are allowed to go to any time in the past. So if in Captain America's timeline where he grew old, he waited till after this time, he then could go to
Right,
that
yeah.
bench and teleport to it.
Right.
In simple terms.
Yeah, you couldn't go
Forward, you could go back.
into your future.
But you could always go into your past. And this
Right.
would still be
And then
his
you could
past.
come back to the present.
Right, and the point is, to him, this would still be the past. Because they explained how your individual present is what matters, not the world's present.
Yeah.
And that's what my people like, no. They explained how Hawk Lee made a statement of how your future is the present, your present's the past. Like, he explained that part.
Yeah, with what's the actress's name?
Paul Rudd's references.
No,
Don Cheadle?
no, the actress. that has the
Describe her.
what's her name?
I don't know who you're talking about.
The bald lady that where
Oh,
he
yeah.
describes the stones.
Yes, her. Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
But I meant they explained time travel before, like pre them doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I don't understand why people are confused. I'm
But
like,
then
they explained this.
And then they describe it again when he's talking about
Right. The time stones, how you move on.
when we take the stones.
It makes a new branch.
Yeah, it makes a new branch where they would still have them.
God. I know. I really enjoyed it. It's a good emotional payoff movie. It's very cathartic.
Yeah. Even though apparently it's not the end of Phase 3.
Yeah, because Far From Home's the end of Phase, which is okay. This is not the first time they did that because you count for Ant-Man was the end of Phase 2, technically not Civil War.
Also,
I mean Age of Ultron. Yeah. So it was not Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
It was Ant-Man was the end of Phase 2, which makes no sense. Also,
I want them to. I hope they cover it in Far From Home. How does Peter still have friends in school?
oh, so the directors did explain this. They said that basically, even though the world was split in half, somehow that entire high school was
Snapped?
Yeah.
Okay, so they just bullshitted a reason of.
Yeah, they bullshitted of the entire high
Okay.
school was snapped. It was a plot reason,
Okay.
but basically they're like, no, the entire school was.
No, it wasn't a plot reason. It was a bullshit reason of.
But they at least came up with something. That at least
Yeah.
practically, you could disagree with, is it a plot armor, but at least it makes sense in the world. Because people can.
Yeah, it makes sense because they have that they can lean back
Right.
on. Oh, well, they were just snapped.
Because
That's why
people
they were
conflate 50% with every other person, when 50% just means random 50%.
50%,
50%
yeah.
could mean all of America and no of India. Like, people, like, 50% doesn't mean every other person, truly.
here. Yeah.
It's like the whole why did Iron Man's family all survive? 50%. But Hawkeye's didn't.
Right, yeah. I will say his trip into basically Deadpool was pretty sweet. Also, I didn't realize this was the last movie for Scargo.
Well, obviously it is.
Well, because they made, the Chris Evans thing was a pretty big deal. Mm-hmm. And I forget what they...
This is also
I'm
ScarJo's
sure there's-
probably best movie as an actress.
Yeah.
Because they gave her the most to do.
Yeah, her best Marvel movie.
That's what I mean. I'm sorry, I meant that. Because it's Age of Ultron, this, and Winter Soldier are the movies she's the main character in.
Yeah. Well, apparently she's doing a...
That's not confirmed, but yeah, it's the rumor is she's doing a Black Widow movie.
No, it's confirmed that she's directing a movie.
Oh, okay. I think I meant starring in a Black Widow movie.
I think the rumor is that it's a Black Widow movie.
But
She is directing a Marvel movie.
That's interesting.
So...
It's going to be definitely interesting now with Luke's. You know, I'm really excited for as Guardians of the Galaxy. You had to appreciate that end moment when they're like, "I'm in charge." Yeah, you're in charge. Like that whole who's in charge exchange was great.
It was, yeah.
Say I'm in charge. You're in charge.
Also, the way that they wrap up kind of... The way they wrap up the Marvel universe, I'll say.
This felt like a good bow on a lot of stuff. So in theory, if you want to introduce the new characters, now you understand where these old people all are in some capacity.
Well, and the end tag of the sound of Tony Stark forging the first Iron Man suit.
It's also fitting in this film that it's the two original Avengers that Nick Fury casted are the ones that died. Because Iron Man was Iron Man. Iron Man 2 introduced Black Widow.
Yes, but no.
You can argue Captain Marvel.
Because that was in the 90s.
But like from a practical, like when he formed the Avengers.
Yes, on screen.
I'm sorry. That's okay.
Yeah.
It was fitting from the sense of the two we got to know first.
Well, wasn't it the first 3 Avengers?
Who's the third?
Captain America?
We didn't, but he wasn't in Shield until he got resurrected. Oh well, he didn't die. That's why I didn't put him in that list also. And I think
Well,
Thor
but
wasn't Thor before
it's
Captain
inferred
Wasn't
that it's
Thor
inferred that
before Captain America anyway? Movie wise,
Yeah, but does he join?
Guardians.
He joins Guardians, but he doesn't join Shield, right?
I think it's weird.
'Cause that's the argument you're making, right? Is that it's the first 2?
Yeah, but okay, it gets weird. Did he join
Shield
Shield? Like he
Avengers.
kind of helps them a ton.
I don't know.
That's just a weird.
Well, and
I'm not disagreeing with you.
The Captain America tag, isn't it the first Avenger?
Yeah, but it's first. But he also. He was never like Avengers because Avengers didn't exist on paper at that point.
Right.
That's why I think it's weird. I'm not disagreeing with you from he existed first. I meant for like Nick Fury making a team.
Was Captain? See, this is where my
Gotta hate you.
because I'm not a huge fan of the MCU.
Okay.
Was Captain America a project of Shield?
Shield did not exist at the time. He was a project of Howard Stark.
Okay, but it's
Shield did not exist in name at that time.
okay.
Tony Stark's project, which made Tony Stark, would eventually give birth to Shield, but it's Shield was not a thing. Basically, it's Howard Stark and then Howard Stark and Hank Pym and what's her face, Peggy, make Shield, and Peggy was obviously the lover of Tony, and then obviously. Then
You mean
Cap.
Steve?
Yeah, and then obviously, then after with Howard Stark, you get Tony Stark, and then Hank Pym is Ant-Man. Like that's where that all kind of gets weird and ancestral.
Well, and then they had to go and fuck it up with Captain Marvel. In terms of the timeline of, okay, this is the 90s and Shield exists,
But it isn't really Shield in the way we think of
but it isn't Shield
because it's an underground government thing that everyone thinks is pointless.
Right. So
That's yeah. Also, Captain Marvel is fine, but like, yeah, it's something. Captain Marvel fucked up the timeline more than in theory something like Civil War did. Civil War at least tried to explain the things that fucked up.
Captain Marvel fucked up the timeline more than who's the one at MK that fucks up the timeline?
Oh, Ronda
Right.
Rousey.
Oh.
We never talked
Is it
about that.
Rain? When she was announced, I'm pretty sure we did.
No, I meant the current issues.
Oh. I think that we can
We can ignore it. We're not even,
we can save. Because a lot of that stuff is being talked about right now. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously there's a personal side of it for you, but yeah. But no, who's the guy from MK that fucks around with the timeline?
I don't know MK characters a ton.
And then the whole reason that they bring in the new character for 11 is that she's there to set the timeline straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's either Raiden or Sub-Zero, or not Sub-Zero. I'm pretty sure it's Raiden.
Mm-hmm.
Goes around and fucks up the timeline. Yeah. And I have some numbers though, because obviously Endgame could go on to be
The biggest movie ever.
the biggest movie ever in terms of gross dollars.
Yeah. It's gonna. So it's at one shy of 1.8 right now, which means this weekend it's passing 2,
Yeah.
which is insane.
But that's worldwide, right?
Yeah, America's is it's like 500 mil.
So Avatar, and I was talking to Mike about this beforehand. What I did was I took the average ticket price of 2018, which was $9.11, and multiplied that by the number of tickets sold for the data that was available at the time. So obviously Avatar's data was all out, but Endgame was whenever they last reported those numbers. And the average ticket price when Avatar came out was $7.50. So this is $1.61 more per ticket that Avatar is missing out on in terms of to bring the numbers into perspective. So I just did the numbers. I just multiplied $9.11 by the number of tickets sold. Avatar adjusted domestically made $893,207,259. Obviously, I'm sure the ticket price was probably close to that.
Just because of
when
3D.
When you add in the 3D and the premium showings. And Endgame is 479, 154, 115.
But also the tail of Avatar is part of what made it so much money too.
Yeah, it was in the theaters for a while.
A long fucking time.
Which Endgame's gonna have that too.
Oh, it's gonna. I'm saying right now. I'm saying when we're putting the apples to oranges of the current, like in 2 months, this will be interesting for sure to look at.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, when I looked at that list, Avatar is not even remotely close to being the best selling in terms of tickets.
Really?
Like Gone with the Wind has over 200 million tickets sold.
Okay, okay. Back then, you either died or you watched a movie in theaters, and then you probably died after.
Gone with the Wind was in the theaters for like 2.5 years. So
yeah, because it's the only movie out.
Right. I think Avatar was like 15th or something like that on the list in terms of tickets sold. So obviously, you can see how box office numbers are inflated because of ticket price inflation. But yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. And I was looking for the average price of Avatar for the tickets, and that would have been an easy number to find, but couldn't find it right away, so I didn't add it. But yeah, so those numbers will be fun to check out.
Nice. You think it's time to call it?
I think that's time to call it. That being said, we've got to decide on movies.
Holy shit, I was thinking that. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay. You want to start new movie or old movie?
Well, pump the brakes there, bud.
Okay.
Because I'll read the text message.
Oh, fucking shit.
That you sent to me Wednesday night that says, hey, can we reschedule for Friday and you can choose movie club? They were two separate messages, but
You're combining them as one.
well, yeah, because I mean, you sent them in succession, so it doesn't matter. Timeline wise, it doesn't matter. We are going to be seeing count them, two sequels in two separate action franchises.
I know where this is going. Fucking shit. Continue.
I'm curious. Okay, so I'm curious to hear what you think my new movie. I can almost guarantee you know
The old movie's Agent Cody Banks too. I know that.
Yep. Okay, what I'm curious to hear what you think, because I have two that fit that description.
It's a new actual movie, right? You're not bullshitting.
Yeah, it's a new movie. Like, it's coming out.
So describe what you just said to me. It's a new action movie that's a sequel?
It's a sequel in a action franchise.
I'm trying to think. What is a sequel?
I have a joke answer to this, and then I have the real answer.
Start with the joke. I want to see if I could actually think of what's going to happen.
So the joke answer is the Detective Pikachu.
But we're not saying Detective Pikachu.
We're not seeing Detective Pikachu.
Holy shit.
I'll put it to you this way. It's a sequel to probably the first in the franchise, is probably one of my favorite
John Wick.
action
We're
movies.
saying John Wick.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, John Wick 3.
Okay. When did John Wick come out?
It comes out pretty soon, actually. So that episode will be the end of the month, end of May.
I can't believe you're making me watch Agent Cody Banks too.
Dude, it's like an hour and a half. You'll be fine.
But the moment I was like, I know it. I knew at least knew what that one was.
Only because when we saw the first one, like, we're gonna see the second one.
17th, by the way, for John Wick.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at the dates, so I know when it's coming out.
God, I hate you.
But yeah, we're gonna be seeing Agent Cody Banks 2. Is there a tagline for that? I can't remember.
Let me look up. Please tell me something stupid like Back in Action.
I don't think so. It may have been something related to the camp.
Destination London.
Yes, I'm saying I knew there was a stupid tagline, but
There is no Agent Cody Banks 3? Darn.
I don't believe so.
Agent Cody Banks 2 is a 4.5 out of 10 on IMDb.
Okay, it's an hour and 40 minutes.
Holy shit, I can't.
So realistically, it's an hour and a half because the credits are fairly long in these movies.
Which I don't know why. Who the fuck wants to admit they worked on these films?
I'm sure they did fine.
You think so?
Oh, dude, aren't they Disney movies?
But it was a theater Disney original, I think. Oh, I got it. Budget was 26 million. Gross US was 23 million.
Yeah, but then it goes on to
DVD releases forever.
DVD and then the Disney Channel, and that movie made Disney money.
Did you know? Oh my god, the original director wanted to make the sequel, but oh my god, but they didn't give him the budget he wanted for CGI. He wanted $7 million more for CGI effects.
That's understandable because this movie came out in 2004. So any CGI would have been expensive.
That's insane considering.
Considering it was, what, a 20...
He wanted to have the budget be $30 million in 2004.
Yeah.
That's actually back then considerable money for movies. Because we're getting
It's
movie
still
budgets.
considered an indie movie.
We're getting movie budgets until super recently used to be like in the last 10 years they've fucking clobbered old numbers.
Well, in the last 10 years, movie budgets have gone up
Insane.
10 times.
It's because it's all effects.
Yeah, it's all
And
CG.
China.
Well, China funnels the money in. It's not necessarily...
Yeah.
It's not the budget is that because of China.
But
It's being funded by China.
yeah. That's a good way of putting it. But yeah.
Yeah. $50 million is considered an indie movie now.
We've been over this. We're gonna get a movie in a theater and be on that list.
We only need to make, what, like 200
Yeah, it was
bucks?
something like we can get our family friends and do it. Well, we just need a bunch of people with AMC A-list. Get in an AMC theater and just get them to use a movie they're not going to go to anyway, so it counts towards their money. My God, there's a scheme right there. What is the legality of that scheme, do you think?
What's that? Making them use their A-list?
Right, get a bunch of people to A-list who aren't going to see the movie anyway, so you get the money for the movie.
I would be interested to see how A-list pays out.
Because my assumption
only
was
because-
because A-list from a box office box office emoji point of view counts the equivalent of the ticket should cost.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, if I A-list something and I don't go to see it,
Do they get paid?
right,
If you go to see it, they do get paid. But you're saying if they
right.
So I wonder because think about it this way though. If I am a movie theater and I sell a ticket, they still get paid whether that person shows up or not though, and that's what gets weird.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's what gets weird because technically, if you're a studio, wouldn't you start suing saying you're stopping potential customers on full screenings if that happens?
Yeah.
That's where I think it's interesting because something like most screens don't get full, but like Avengers
Because-
had full screenings. You know, there are no shows
Yeah.
in certain areas. Like once you maybe had a person didn't show or whatever.
Right. So like, yeah, if I walked into an AMC,
And you wanted to buy a ticket, but someone A-listed and they didn't show.
well, no, like if I, for some reason, right, I walked into an AMC on a Monday and was like, all right, I'm going to buy my ticket for John Wick for Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Buy that ticket. The studio already gets paid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically, the distributor already gets paid
Right.
on that ticket. So they don't care if I show up or not.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm on A list and I reserve a Friday seat for John Wick,
Mm-hmm.
but don't end up going,
When that gets,
how does it?
Right, that gets sticky.
Yeah, because technically you're not paying for the ticket itself.
But you, from a back end point of view, you are. On the front end, you're not. On the back end, you are. On the back end, like on the books of AMC to the distributors, you are.
Yeah, I wonder if they just take a hit.
That's what to me it probably. That's why
Ticket.
because if you read the terms, like it still count. They're very clear. Like it still counts towards your total whether you show up or not.
Yeah. Well, and I understand that for the, like, we're going to count it towards your total because we don't want people just like reserving seats for shows that you could sell that seat.
What's interesting is you can cancel an hour before, and not get it towards your total.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It'd be
That's what's
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah. I think we're going to find out a lot about these services because cinema is dead. Mm-hmm. Or at least in the U.S. is dead.
China, it's
Movie
thriving.
Pass is dead. Like, I think Movie Pass still exists, but it's effectively dead.
Does it still exist?
Yeah, I believe so. And AMC is doing their own thing, but AMC can do their own
Because it's
thing.
AMC theaters.
Right.
That's where it gets weird.
So it's not.
They're not paying someone else, or it's shortchanging someone else, or any of that stuff. Because Movies Pass's whole model was based upon the subscription model theory of most people wouldn't use it, and their issue was
It was the Netflix model.
it was more the Netflix model. It was the Amazon Prime model of we assume not everyone's going to use the service that we're paying out. So I don't know if I
Well,
told
no,
you.
it's totally the Netflix model because they're banking on the people like myself. When I had Movie Pass, I would see 2 movies a week,
Right.
3 movies a week when I had the time. And so I could see every movie that was coming out in a month 2 to 3 times. And they were banking on the people that got Movie Pass for one movie
I forgot about it.
and then didn't use it because they already paid it off for the month. So that's more the Netflix model, whereas Amazon,
So the reason
the Amazon model doesn't work because, in that sense, because they're making money on sales.
So the reason I referred to the Prime model is because I heard this great quote by Jeff Bezos, which is the most offensive but great quote ever. He talks about like when he started Amazon Prime and a bunch of investors were terrified because they're losing money. And his whole shtick was he literally on an investor call went, it's like a buffet. All of the fat people come first, but if you wait, then the skinny people show up. Was an actual quote by Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
But and again, it's horrible. But it's that thing of he goes, no. We leased a service that if we have the capital, we just need to withstand the first couple months and then we're fine. Which is what the Movie Pass model was trying to do. But the issue was the skinny people never came.
Yeah. Or if they did, they were bringing a fat friend.
Right. But like the whole thing is that entire model is based upon the idea of we're equaling them out,
Yeah.
which didn't happen.
Right. All right. That's going to be it for the episode.
Okay.
So, yeah. People that stuck around for Endgame spoilers, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Follow us on social media. Mike is at Mikey_Maroney. I am at Locy Boy. The show is at the SW Show. SWW. So, what else?
Subscribe,
There will be, subscribe to the podcast
like, review.
wherever podcasts are.
One Spotify,
Offer-
Anchor, iTunes. I don't know, whatever Google uses.
Google Podcasts.
We don't
or
believe in Google here.
I do. There will be some news regarding a website in the near future.
When AJ sends me bios, we'll get to that point. Yeah.
Well, you know what? You can just fuck off because you already have my photo from something.
That's true. I do have a photo of you.
It's a shit. You must pull it from Twitter. 'Cause it's a shitty
Oh,
photo.
goddamn! Did I found it?
And yeah, there's going to be some news regarding the show as a whole
Sooner or later.
shortly.
Probably next month or two. Realistically, once we go through both of us approving and looking through stuff.
Yep. Nothing that will affect the output of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have anything to worry there. It's not like suddenly we're going to end the show. Well, I'll just say that what we're looking at will, in all hope, improve the show.
Improve the quality.
Improve everything about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We might even make AJ seem less upset every time we record. And I'm just saying, AJ, if what we want to do is successful, one of the things that will be part of the options of the new model would be making AJ watch all of his least favorite Marvel movies in a row.
Well, so did you see the thing where somebody, I forget what company it was, somebody was going to pay people like a considerable amount of money to watch all of the Marvel movies?
But also some theaters were.
You had to like live blog it and like write up your feelings on each movie. And apparently if you did it, it was a full 40 hours. Because it's 22 movies, so...
Mm-hmm. No, did you see, if you look at every movie's time, including Far From Home, it's at 3,000 minutes.
Dear God.
I love you, 3,000.
You're so funny, but it's... that's stretching it, like...
That's not... It's true, though. I'm not joking.
I understand, but that is stretching. Like, that's getting into some, like, conspiracy level stretching of, like...
Are you saying it's an accident?
Yes.
It just happened to work out.
There's no way in hell that when they were making Iron Man 1 and 2, they were thinking, oh, you know what? In 10 years, we're going to reference I Love You 3000, and by fucking happenstance... our movies are going to add up to 3,000.
Wait, did they reference it in Iron Man 1 too?
No.
I was going to say.
I'm saying in 10 years, they're going to reference...
No, but I bet you, though, realistically, once they got close and they decided they want to do some love you shtick, in the last movies or two, they're like, what number can we do that we can make sure it hits and make the credits last a minute here, a minute there to make it happen? If we're being honest, I bet you might have been some shit like that. Like, we could make this credit 1 minute longer, shave a minute here, perfect.
Or is it a comic book reference?
I don't know it, actually. I don't think so.
Like,
so I think they just picked an
a
arbitrary number that they could
because
hit. I bet you it was like, can we find a number that we could hit? Perfect.
I could see that because they seem to like to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could see it be like 2 movies ago. They're like, what number are we going to hit minutes wise that we can, or like that we could reference? And they're like, 2,980. And they're like, can we add 20 minutes to the next 3 movies? Like shit like that.
Yeah.
Because that's realistic in the sense of they know that kind of stuff.
I could also see it being like a reference to a single issue
that I have no fucking clue. Yeah, I can see that too.
From the 60s or something like that.
It'd be like an Iron Man Mach 3000 or something. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So, all right, that's the end of the show.
Goodbye, y'all.
Bye.